You know the drill. Capital letter Q for important questions or comments. And capital letter N if you are new to the broadcasting would like a little welcome.
Are we being gender fluid?
Oh no, we're just being silly.
Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners. Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook, as usual, where we take a look at news from our city, state, and country. We take a look at your questions, your ideas, your suggestions, all the good stuff. We take a look at your capital letter Qs when you say things that are important, as Sean has done. Thank you to beautiful Mexico for sending firefighters to Los Angeles. We are definitely keeping our eyes on that. What an unfortunate situation. I feel for anyone that lives in that general area, and I have dear friends that are in town right now that are breathing. That's what we can do, and hope that the fires stop. Obviously. Today we have all the news that I didn't get a chance to share with you yesterday, and then there's that Barbacow. Oh my God, what a shit show! We'll get to Barbacow in a second. Let us first start, as usual, with our news. Da 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 da. And where are the news? Come on. Da 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 da. There they are. So in the coming days, we talked briefly about this yesterday. In the coming days, new restrictions on public transportation in the city center will be announced for the weekends, which will be similar to the type of modifications that are applied on special dates and events. On Saturdays and Sundays, buses entering the city will only go as far as Parque Hidalgo, ceasing to circulate on the busiest streets in the heart of Puerto Vallarta. Municipal Mayor Luis Munguía said that the measure's main objective is to reduce traffic and noise in the area, aspects that have caused inconvenience for both tourists and residents. As someone that does a lot of walking, I love it. But then I am mindful of a lot of people that don't walk that much. So is there ever going to be a perfect solution for everyone? I doubt it. I can only say I'm happy for the change. Let's see if it works. And if it doesn't work, it can always be reverted. I also want to let you know that Mayor Luis Munguía has finally announced the 5 new city management positions. These are the position of Sustainability Manager, led by Terrence Vincent, Smart Government Manager, led by Angel Marcial, Construction Manager, led by Juan Ramon Chavez, Prosperity Manager, led by Hector Mata, and Downtown Transportation Manager is Juan Pablo Martinez, who will be in charge of implementing the new bus schedules during the weekends. Munguía boasts that the challenge here is to rescue downtown Puerto Vallarta. So my hunch is that these managers will be focusing primarily in the downtown area. In addition, Mayor Munguía announced the creation of the first LGBTQ plus diversity department in the city. a department that will be in charge of safeguarding the interests and rights of people with different gender identities and sexual preferences. The first director of this new body is Hector Betancourt, a well known LGBTQ activist who has extensive experience representing the Vallarta community. From the department, he will now be in charge of being a connecting link with the leaders and citizens of the city's LGBTQ community and accommodating, whenever appropriate, their requests to the government. And in case you wondered, this is just a quick one. In case you wonder why traffic became so chaotic this week, the answer is quite simple. Thousands of local students that had been on vacation are back in school. For much of the past couple of days, the city has been congested at key points such as Francisco Medina Asensio Avenue and Mexico Avenue and their surroundings, affecting not only motorists but also merchants and transporters who see their activities reduced. And there's no quick solution for that one because a lot of the bus and other implementations that are going to be put into place and improvements of streets and so forth and so on are going to happen gradually. So if you're out and about lately and traffic is too much, all you can do is plan accordingly, hold your breath, and be patient, as that's the way things are going to be, at least for the time being. Let's take a quick look at our weather forecast just to see what's happening out there. Don't worry, says Snarky Weatherman. I promise to make the weather great again. And that sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know why. Boom, boom. 19 degrees is our temperature right now. Humidity is high at 83%. And let's see, our weather forecast for today says that we're going to have overcast skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a high of 22 and a low of 17. Tomorrow, we can expect overcast skies in the morning with mostly clear skies in the afternoon, a high of 23 and a low of 17. And on Monday, we begin the work week with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 24 and a low of 14. So here we go. Last night, I published something on the Coffee and Headlines Facebook page along the lines that we had learned something new while having dinner at Barbacow on a Friday night. So what is going to happen here is I'm going to tell you what we learned. And hold on just a second. There you go. Why am I not able to show this? No? Okay, fine. Let's take a look at that. I am going to tell you why I thought it was a shit show. No, I'm going to tell you the lesson learned. And if you want details, you're going to tell me that you want details by writing the word details in your comment. The lesson learned about Barbacow is that if you are easily disturbed by background music, going on a Friday evening is not a good idea. That was what we learned. Above and beyond that, if you want the blow by blow, I'll deliver only, but I don't want to, only if you ask for details, but I don't want to overwhelm you with things that you don't want to know. I also want to put this on the screen because just a few days ago, somebody was asking about the International Charro Festival, which is, of course, around the corner. It starts on January 30, and it goes on 30, 31st, and February 1st and 2nd. As always, this takes place at the Lienzo Charro Miguel Ibarria, which is the Charro facility located in the northern part of the city. And of course, I will share the Facebook page today so that you can find out more details about this very popular event. For those of you that are not familiar with it, well, first of all, the sport, because it is considered a sport in Mexico, of charreria, which includes all the skills to be able to ride a Mexican cowboy horse, or, a charro horse, there's a series of skills and protocols and so forth and so on. And for this beautiful competition, we get people that are here uh, from different parts of Mexico and different parts of well, several parts of the world, definitely from the United States. And I am feeling self conscious because my dear friends from Galería Contempo say, thank you, Paco. And I haven't even mentioned what I was going to mention. And for that matter, I am realizing that I didn't even set it up to show you today. But I want you to know that Juan Carlos Breceda is has delivered to the gallery a whole new series of watercolors that are absolutely beautiful and whimsical. And I was going to set them up to show them during the broadcast. But what I'll do is I'll create a little photo album in the show notes so that you can see this beautiful work that, of course, you can see on display at Galería Contempo. And that brings us to what else do I have to tell you? Well, I don't need to tell you about the spotlight. We'll talk about the spotlight again on Monday, but I do want to tell you about my next music appreciation. No, we don't even have to talk about that. Let's see. Let me look at your comments. You do want to know details. Fine. Okay, good. This is good because I'm going to come out of my shell and talk about this because it really, really bothers me. But first, let me officially start this with a little screen that we don't play very often. Where is our shit show screen? I know we have one. Ah, there it is. Okay, I'm going to start by disclaiming something that is very important. This is not about shading the restaurant. Barbacow serves extraordinary music. I mean, music, extraordinary food. No, they don't serve extraordinary music. They serve loud music, and that's my problem. So, what you're going to hear now is my expectations unfulfilled, not a bad restaurant. Although one is left wondering. I mean, I this is not strange to you. I mean, I often talk about not understanding why restaurants do live music. And if there are any restaurants watching that do live music, please, why? Let us know why. I mean, is there some research out there that playing live music while people are sitting down to eat improves your sales or improves the well-being of the people that are sitting down to eat? I would love to find out about that research. What has this got to do with me? Well, I am the kind of person that likes to go to a restaurant to enjoy the company of my friends. Obviously, if I want to eat by myself, that's a different story. But when I go to a restaurant and I want to eat there, needless to say, I'm there with my friends and I'm interested in the conversations that I'm having with my friends, not so much with the background music or a live musician, which for me in a restaurant, I don't get it. I really don't. So last night we sit down and of course I see musicians preparing to perform and I went, oh my dear. But I figured, okay, can't be that bad. But the live music was not the first problem. They had a speaker playing music and it was a little bit on the loud side. And granted, our table was fairly close to the speaker. And when I asked the waiter, this gentleman by the name of Martin, I believe, who is the same guy that has waited on us a number of times, and I have been to Barbacow a number of times, so I feel able to talk about these things. We asked him, so why do you have loud music in the restaurant? And the waiter said, well, that's the decision of the owners. And I asked, are the owners here? They said no. He said no. Okay, fine. And then the live music began and it became very clear. It was literally 2 or 3 meters, not even. It was very close to our table. It became very clear very quickly that we were not going to have a good evening. By this time, we had considered going to another restaurant, but we had already ordered cocktails. And once again, I asked the waiter, why do you schedule live music? And the waiter looked at me and he just said, we've been doing live music and karaoke on Friday nights since the day that we opened. And I'm like, okay, fine, be that way. Fortunately, the restaurant is long and narrow, so we were able to sit all the way in the back. So the music became a lot less loud. So we thought, well, our problems are resolved. But this particular waiter, Miguel, I think is his name, has a tendency of being funny all the time, which I appreciate. Sometimes we try to bring the humor out because we think it's going to improve or increase our popularity. I've tried joking on my music appreciation presentations and totally bombed. Anyhow, I don't mind a funny waiter. You do what you can to make sure that your tips are there until you make fun of one of your patrons. And as we were sitting down at the new table, far away from the live music, the waiter said, well, now I can continue taking your orders after Paco interrupted me. And I'm sorry, I don't like to be the butt of a joke, particularly when the situation's already not ideal. So I looked at the waiter and I said to him, are you serious? Why are you joking about me? And I said to him, and he said to me, I'm just joking. And I'm like, well, we didn't come here to hear your jokes, nor to hear the music. We came here to have a good meal. Did we have a good meal? Absolutely. But just as you give advice to your international friends that are arriving in the airport and tell them, don't pay attention to the timeshare people, just move through the line and go to the end, I tell you this, don't go to Barbacow on a Friday night because they have live music. And if you want to have conversation with your friends, it sucks. And I continue to not understand why restaurants do that. And I will continue to speak against this practice until someone can explain to me, why do restaurants upset patrons who enjoy a nice conversation at a restaurant? Now, if you tell me, Paco, you're a cranky old fart, the vast majority of the population is fine with it, then so be it. I'll keep my mouth shut and I will never provide this kind of hopefully useful information to you. But I just don't get it. And I'm going to continue to avoid restaurants that have it and continue to be grateful for the fact that Puerto Vallarta has so many wonderful places. We are not limited to these very unfortunate situations. That's all I have to say about that. Let's see what your take is on any of this. Let me first find the little thingamabobby. Here we go. Oh my God, sorry. I'm drinking my coffee. Let me scroll your comments just to see what people have to say. Oh, and one more thing about Barbacow. Should you find yourself at Barbacow, when they have live music, just know that more often than not, Vagabundas, which is just down the street, is an extraordinary restaurant that does not have live music. So we might have gone to Vagabundas had we not started ordering. And there you have it. Now, your comments. Lots of good mornings. We already acknowledged Sean. Oh, Oh my goodness. Logan, are you watching while you're taking a shower? And I love your spelling of shampoo. That's what we call it in Spanish. Shampoo. Love it. Love it. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Many, 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 many hellos. Logan, who is as much, if not, no, Logan's a big mover and shaker in this town. What am I talking about? Logan says, I see familiar faces on that LGBTQ panel, and that is encouraging. That's good to know, Logan. Thank you very much for that. Logan reports also that there's drizzling out there, cheapy cheapy, on the dog walk this morning. And then you asked for details, and I believe I have delivered. Gouda says, I just don't understand why restaurants play music so loud that conversation is impossible. Is that not why most of us go out and dine with friends for conversation? Thank you for that empathy. I go out and have dinner to have conversation with friends. So I'm glad that there's two of us here. Thank you so much, Gouda, and I hope you're feeling better. I'm looking forward to seeing your show this coming week. Why are the buses doing that? Isn't Centro area a big pickup point? We notice buses just packed and the buses and bus stops packed. There must be a need. My goodness, Queen of Questions. That's a lot of question marks. Why are the buses doing that? It's very simple, because we are a large city now, and it's become increasingly and overwhelmingly difficult to navigate by motor vehicle. And the city is trying whatever possible within our geographic and physical constraints to find a proper solution for the problem. Is this it? We don't know, but it hasn't been tried before, so that is why it is being done. Is everybody going to be happy? Definitely not. But what is going to make us less happy, to sit idle or to try something new? I, for one, hope that the experiment is successful and that the city learns a little bit about the outcome. And I also hope that people will be understanding of why this is being done. New and question mark, Alejandro Alex. Hello, Alejandro. Well, by restricting buses coming into the city, do they mean tourist buses? No, public transportation city buses. I don't know if I don't think this will include other types of buses, but I could be wrong. In past special events, whenever they have like things like the Guadalupe processions, no big buses are allowed through the city. So we'll see how that plays out. And thank you for joining us live. How do the mayor and manager plan to provide mobility for the many workers who live in Zona Romantica? Well, that remains to be seen. Workers that live and work in Zona Romantica can always take a bus through the Libramiento, which is what the city does. So again, we'll have to see how that plays out. Last night, Basilio Vadillo was jammed and fun, partly due to Art Walk, many people, and a big USA college football game. I'm glad that it was a fun night out and about. Let's see. Chris says, on Wednesday evenings, Maria Cuquita restaurant has live music, and they understand that it has to be background music and it's never overwhelming. I feel it's very enjoyable. Hey, if a restaurant gets it and the music is low enough to allow for conversation, by all means. But even so, do I feel obligated to tip the musician because the restaurant chose to put it there and not me? If the musician is good, yes. If the musician's not good, nope. Cranky, I know. I'm 62 years old. Can't help it. Sean says, I was at Hacienda San Angel a few weeks ago and there was a live mariachi band at one point. It was delightful and entertaining. Excellent. See, if I know that I want to have dinner and I want there to be live mariachi music, I would definitely recommend Hacienda San Angel. It's a great mariachi ensemble. But if I know that I want to have dinner and I want to have a conversation with my friends, I doubt that I'm going to go to Hacienda San Angel. That's just me. Ba-da-ba-ba. Pat says, I do like conversation over food and drink, and I've been known to leave. That makes two of us. That makes two of us. And Brian, who was there at our table last night, comments, there is obviously a demand for live music. It is everywhere and draws a crowd. As consumers, we have choices. If you go to Barbacow when there is live music, sit in the back. In the garden area, it was lovely and cool. And yes, it was. Once we were set up and once the joking waiter was gone, it was absolutely perfect. That was uncalled for that waiter to say that was very unprofessional. And I made sure that he knew that. Clemmy, I made sure that he knew that. Again, I don't mind the jokes, but when they're directed at you, it's no fun. Ba-da-ba-ba. Doesn't this also seem something unique to Vallarta? I've spent significant time and dined out on 4 continents, and this feels like an only in PV kind of quirk. You know, I'm not a big world traveler, Muffin, but I have had similar experiences in other cities in Mexico. Some places have live music, and it's successfully soft. Other places have live music, and it's obnoxiously loud, and many places don't have it at all. So it is what it is. Laura says, I will not patronize a restaurant that has loud music. Welcome to the club. Albert says, I don't think you're cranky. I hate restaurants with live music when I want to talk. Welcome to the club. This is good to know. Pat says, I was at Barbacow yesterday afternoon with friends. We sat in the back due to the music and had the patio to ourselves. Again, you know, I'd love to hear from a restaurant owner. I wish a restaurant owner would come forth and say, hey, I'm a restaurant owner and we play music because of this. And we play music loud because of this. You know, I just don't see anybody explaining this situation. I'm almost to the end of your comments. This is a problem in Canada as well, says Lynette. Let's see what else. Yes, canned music is also a problem. Many restaurants have extremely loud canned music. What about those businesses that put their speakers out on the sidewalk and blast their music to attract customers? Does that work for you? Doesn't work for me either. And this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Maybe I'll post something on the Facebook page addressing specific... Oh my goodness. Paco against live music. Palm. It's a new movement. Join us. Well, I don't see why not. I wish for restaurants to explain this. Is it asking too much? Maybe. I don't know. What I do know is that I appreciate your feedback, and I appreciate your thoughts and your comments. I appreciate your company. I appreciate your support in helping all of us connect with each other and with our city. I hope you'll have an amazing rest of the weekend. I'm looking forward to a peaceful one, and I hope to see you again Monday morning for more Coffee and Headlines. Have a great weekend.